I know my son relates, you all agree. So open up your eyes and see the forest for the tree. Yeah, the forest for the tree. Yeah.
Yes, people, this is still the Inner Gold Show. Mikey, Majestic, Heartical ID. Where did you go? We hope you didn't go anywhere, because it's about to get real special right now. It's very hot here in the studio. It's very full. Big up Glenroy, Expanda, cameraman. But yes, you heard the track Where Did You Go? And it was by a reggae band from the UK, we're proud to say, that are in the studio with us. And they have their own FM, people, but we're not talking about a station, we're talking about an album. We're here with a band who was recommended to us when we interviewed Protege and we asked him about UK acts and UK bands in reggae. He recommended the Skints. And they count ones like Jesse Royal, Tipper Irie and the legendary Horseman amongst their friends. And this is a group we've been waiting for a while to get them on the show. So I'm pleased to say we're joined by the Skints. Greetings.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Thanks very much. Yes, so how's everything? You good apart from being hot? Everything Irie?
Nah, it's all good, man. For London to be hot, I don't think we should be complaining too hard, you know. So yeah, no, everything's cool, man.
Well, before we go any further, thank you for passing through, because you're like some of the busiest people on earth. So it's nice for you to be still enough, you know, long enough for us to catch up with you.
No,
so let's start off by, you're known as the Skints, but obviously individuals make up the great band. So could you introduce yourselves and your position within the Skints?
Okay, my name is Jamie and I play drums and sing in the Skints.
Yes.
I'm also in the Skints. I'm Marcia. I'm one of the singers and play keyboards, etc.
Yeah, I'm Josh from the Skints. I play guitar and also I'm one of the three singers. And not with us today is John, who is our secret weapon, holding it down on the bass.
So he's so secret, he couldn't even come in the place. You have to keep the bass out of the place today. Yeah. But, you know, like I said, we've been waiting a while for this. You know, we've been supporting the music on the show for a while, been introduced to your music for a while. But for those that don't know, could you tell the listeners, first of all, how the Skints came together, how you was formed?
Yeah, man. Well, basically, we've been friends for a long time. Skints were from like northeast London, Leighton, Walthamstow, Woodford sort of sides, and yeah, we went to the same school together and were just into music. To cut a long story short, skip forward to May 2007. The four of us that you see been together with the Skints and just playing a lot of shows, man. We were just playing around London, sort of 07, 08, playing a lot, and then we started to like book our own sort of tours in like 2008, started playing outside of London, and then we did like a lot of touring sort of between 2008 and 2010, maybe like 350 shows in 2 years or something. We did our first album in that time and kept going and going and going and just building up the fan base, supporting other artists. Did another album, was touring around the UK a lot, started playing Europe and stuff, and then skip forward to 2015 last year. Yeah, we did our newest album, FM, and obviously we'd been touring for a good few years solid by that point, and yeah, we started to tour the US recently, and yeah, we're here, the Skints, making music, playing records, making music, playing shows. Making records independently and yeah, just keeping it moving, man.
Well, I have to say, in one question, man's more or less answered everything.
Man.
But the reason why we're called Inner Gold is that, you know, we're known for going a little bit deeper, because it is a big story and I feel like the people really need to know what I'm going with
that
the
was
Skints.
the briefest history I could do.
But, you know, I know them ones where you've got like a 5-minute interview and you just have to get it all in one time. So, you know, you did well. For the people that are just gonna watch the first 3 minutes, they know what I'm going now. But yeah, one thing I love is the name. This is London, you know, you need money for everything, even to top up your oyster.
Yeah.
So the Skints is something we can all relate to. We've all been skint at some time.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with that name, the Skints?
To be honest with you, is when like the realest story about the name of the Skints, is that obviously, like the band name doesn't even make grammatical sense, because you'd say like, I am Skint, or he is Skint, or we are Skint, rather than Skints. So to be honest, the name just sounded like a cool name for like a punky kind of band when I was like 15 or something. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. But it's funny because when we go like, obviously outside of England, the name just doesn't translate at all. You know, like we go to like France or Germany or even America, and they're like, what does Skints mean? And so you have to explain that like, oh, it kind of means that you're a bit like hard up, a bit broke, but also that like the way that you would say it is not how the band name says. So it's kind of a stupid name, but that's where we're at, man. That's what we are.
And Ed Sheeran often talks about coming to London and the couch life, sofa surfing, but you guys have a very interesting story where you've done like the squat parties and the DIY tours. So could you share a bit of that with the people?
Yeah, man. I mean, so to take it back, obviously, you know, we was initially sort of playing in kind of like the punky kind of world, and with that obviously there's a lot of connections to like the reggae thing and the jungle thing as well, so there was a lot of like kind of more squatty events for the kind of music we do, like when we was playing in London early on. And obviously the whole DIY thing is something that like when we were doing it, we was playing with just a lot of different kinds of other artists. It wasn't necessarily like a reggae thing, it was kind of just more like a scene and a vibe, and a lot of people, you know, touring the UK. We used to, like, you know, early tours, man, we were like renting the van and just like going on stage and asking people in random places in England, can we stay at your place tonight or whatever, and people will put you up, and you kind of build a bit of a nationwide community by doing it like that, because we knew that we never really wanted to kind of do the big into the labels to get signed to then make you famous. It's kind of like, well, if we like the music, we knew we'd seen other people sort of doing it to a level where like, yeah, you can like sustain it a bit if you're just prepared to work really hard. So I mean, yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to shed light on that. That's kind of
You were like really concise again.
yeah.
He's on point.
He's on point.
He's on point.
Big up for the media training, man. You're on point, bro.
I just do most of the interviews. I never had media training.
And this is the open forum.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Everyone's cool to join in the mic. But one thing I see about you guys is that you guys combine reggae, ska, grime. On the album you've got a tune with Rival, which we'll get into a bit later on. So tell us about some of your early like musical influences.
Okay, yeah, I'll take this. I mean, we've all got a ridiculously diverse musical taste, range of music that we're all into, especially when there's three singers as well, because there's like three of us writing songs, and whatever we're all listening to at the time could be completely different, which is why I think it's so diverse. Like it's not something we ever decided to do, to sit down and be like, we're going to do all these genres and do all this stuff. I think it's just always naturally kind of come out, and I think it's even interesting for us by the end of an album recording to hear all the different I don't know, influences that have like crept into the music. But like for me originally, I got into this kind of music through like ska and punk because of Josh, because of this band. When I first joined it, it's just like I'd never heard music like that before. Like I was classically trained. When I like learned to like play piano, in fact no, I played saxophone when I first joined. And yeah, so I didn't really know this kind of music, and it like changed my life. And then I think we were all kind of into like the more electronic, like jungle scene. And John, our bassist, is like, he's really into like more weird electronica, like that kind of thing. And I think we've all been into like punk. And I swear I'm like missing genres. There's so many. Like, it's like a huge part of.
Yeah. I would say definitely like the reggae influence really kicked off when it was like, because there was a couple of early incarnations at Skints, but when we linked up with Jamie, that was really when like it was like having a voice that like, oh, like, because we all loved reggae and was listening to it all the time. It's like, oh, we can actually like play this now because we got someone that can sing these lines and stuff like that. And that was kind of like 06, 07 was kind of when the going in and like on like reggae and learning just like the kind of history and all the tunes of Jamaican music from all the studios and stuff. That's when that kind of really started happening. But all the while it's kind of, we've never you know, we've always said that we never want to be, we're not trying to be like a revival band or a strictly roots band, and we're not, you know, we're not trying to be a Jamaican reggae band, man. Do you know what I mean? We just love, absorb the music and kind of express your version of it, and that's gonna be mixed with everything else because of where we're from and our age and who we are and all of that. So yeah.
Of course, man. So how do I put it? How would you describe the Skints' sound then? Like, because you've got all these different sounds that influence you, so...
Really, I mean, obviously there's like genres that you can associate with it, but like there's not really like... One of the things we actually pride ourselves on is there's not 5 other people that sound like us.
Yeah.
There's not really that.
Yeah, you're just unique, you've got your own sound.
And I think as an artist, that's what, you know, collectively as an artist, that's what we've always sort of wanted to do.
Yeah, man.
Sort of whilst being able to collaborate with and play with stuff that we're into, you know.
Real things.
Now, one thing that impresses me about you, amongst many things, but one thing that impresses me is the adaptability of the different artists on different tracks, you know. So for example, the message is potent, but you can be on grime and go toe to toe with Rival, but then you can be on a tune with Tipper and them, man, and go toe to toe. So how important, apart from the flow, is lyrical content to the Skints?
To be honest, I think all 3 songwriters will probably answer that question really differently, because like I know like Jamie definitely is like takes influence from a lot of stuff where like Jamie's lyrics, and I know that a lot of the stuff he listens to might be like a line that sounds really good and you have to listen to it a few times and it could maybe be interpreted in different ways. Whereas me, lyrically, I've sort of always taken influence from basically MCing really, where it's hip hop or dancehall or grime, whatever. So for me, lyrics kind of need to be a lot more like talking about the thing, and this is what this tune is about. Do you know what I mean? Rather than kind of be open to interpretation. I think Marcy is probably more in the same, somewhere in the middle of that, I'd say. You know, so lyric. I mean, for the band, I mean, you can hear songs from all our albums, and you can. Maybe there's certain tunes where you can just interpret lyrics and you could be like, oh, okay, this is what the topic is about, and that's what they're dealing with, you know. But yeah, for me personally, lyrics is very important.
Cool. Well, you just mentioned albums, so for the people that don't know, how many albums do you have out there?
We have 3 albums out right now. FM's our 3rd album, and they're all different, but it's been definitely like an evolution. You know, we haven't done the same album 3 times. We've grown up, you know. We like to think our playing's got better, our songwriting's got better, but all of them sort of mark a point in time of where the band was at.
Yeah, man. Well, one thing I respect about you guys is that you're representing for London town, so it's only right that we go into this town featuring man like Horsemouth. So do you want to introduce it to the people then?
Yeah, man, you're listening to the Skints on the Beat London featuring Tipper Irie and Horseman. This one's called This Town. Big up the London crew.
This is still the Inner Gold Show, and we just heard This Town because we're in a London town with this sound, the sound of the Skints, and it is amazing. Even though it's hot in here, it's a nice vibe, and that track, you know, just fitted in perfectly after what we just spoke about. So vibes inside the place. But before we go any further, who actually produced that track?
That one's Prince Fatty, man. Yeah. Prince Fatty produces most of our stuff. He produced and mixed most of our album FM and our 2nd album Part and Parcel. So we've been working together for a good few years now, man. So we have to big up Fatty every time.
And we're definitely feeling the visuals as well. You lot, you know, you got the 360, you got the visuals, the content. This is gonna sound like I'm just, you know, breading the Skints, but bro, it's real.
No, honestly, man, glad that some people can appreciate the work that's being put in, bro. So
it's good. But what I want to know, and what Heartical wants to know, we want to know how you managed to get Tipper Irie and Horseman on one track.
The same tune.
Yeah, how?
We heard them people have been
You know
trying
what?
to do
It's
it.
more like how do you stop them?
Okay.
In the same place.
Yeah, there's power up, man. It's like the Power Rangers machine.
Megatron,
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, no, because obviously, you know, I'm sure most of your listeners know, you know, but for maybe the younger generation that don't, Horseman and Tipper are 2 people in the London sound system scene, and just the London sound in general, like, are just legends in that, from, you know, the Brixton area. from way back in the early 80s. Tipple was obviously with Saxon Sam, and Horseman was with a few, namely he was with Taurus back in the day, and with Ricky Rankin and a few others. And yeah, like obviously we was really lucky that we just ended up working with both guys and their friends, and they was up for being on it. But like Marcy said, when you put those guys together, the creativity just does not stop.
Yeah.
And it was just about being that day in the studio where it was like, alright, come on then guys, let's do this. So, yeah.
And it's a big track, so we can't mention also Tipper without mentioning, you know, on last week's show I said, I quote myself here, yeah, your dub plate that you gave us for this track I'm about to talk about is in my top 3 dub plates that we have. Okay, yeah, and that's a big thing because we got some big dub plates. We can't tell you all of them on air because other sounds.
No, but you can believe that the box is heavy, man.
Yeah, yours is in the top 3. So we're talking about Taser Beam, but I don't even think we should talk about it till we let the people hear it. Yeah, so would you like to introduce it to the people then?
Go on, Jay.
This is Taser Beam on Inner Gold by the Skints.
And you know what, people, we're really spoiling you today because this, we might as well call it the Skints takeover here on the FM because their album is FM. So that ties me to a point that I'm going to come back to in a minute about the whole concept of FM. But before we get into that, we just spun 2 of your tracks back to back. First we started with Taser Beam. Me and Heartical loved the track, but we want to know, what, is there any visual dropping for it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're working on it right now. Yeah, so to cut a long story short, yeah.
Okay.
It's coming.
We look forward to that one still, but I have seen the video for Friends and Business. You know, you look like you're really enjoying yourselves in that, man. You know. So big up on that. But what I will say about the whole thing about FM, yeah, we are the Beat London 103.6 FM. So I'm listening to the intro of your album now, and I hear big up, you know, Mr. Versatile every time. Yeah, if you know, you know. So he's doing his thing now, and then I was with it, I was nodding all the way till I hear him say 103 point Skints. I think 103 Skints. So while you're here in front of us, you know, management held fire, they're outside waiting, but we might have to get into a little situation there where you're taking over our show and now you're taking over our station.
You know what,
so
I'm not even trying to throw anyone under the bus or snitch or nothing, yeah. But that number that came out, that was like Mr. Versatile on the spot, like in the takes as we was running them. And it was 103 point Skints, and then we just rolled with that.
Well, it sounds
I don't know. Tips must have been listening to the beat or bang or something, man, because it must have been.
And
like
I was gonna say, yeah, because Tip is sat in that very seat that you're sitting in now, right in the corner. And after hearing his voice in depth, I was like, "Is not MC Versatile? That's Funky House, Mr. Versatile. Is it Tipper Irie?"
Yeah, man.
Yeah. My ears are working.
Yeah. Because basically all on the FM album, when you hear all the radio skits and stuff, the 3 DJs that you hear is actually the 3 feature MCs that are on the album.
Very smart.
Playing
Very
like
smart.
an alter ego as a radio DJ, man.
I love that. So it's all love, really. Don't worry.
Nah, man.
You know, we can share 103, but we are the beat.
Well, we're not point 6. We're not point 6. We're point 6.
So that's why it's all blessed. It's all blessed.
Yeah. It's like we need like wow.
Reggae Illuminati.
But it's the natural mystic how you've ended up now on 103.6. So welcome once again. But while we're talking about FM, how did you come up with that concept FM for the album?
Well, I mean, it was like it was time to do our 3rd record. Obviously, you know, it's like the whole thing's been growing. It's not like we've ever been like trying to do the blow up album. It's just about keep it growing. But we just wanted like something a bit fresh. And we was talking about ideas, what we can do. And Jamie actually came through. There's an album by famous band called Queens of the Stone Age. They have an album called Songs for the Deaf. Yeah, and like it's basically that album is like a car journey. You hear the car start up and it's like a journey from think it's like LA to the Joshua Tree in California.
Something like
Yeah, and like you can hear all these like different radio stations and like the Spanish language, like Mexican stations coming through and stuff, just in like the skits. And obviously we were like, oh, it'd be cool to do something like that, but in London, hearing like a, you know, a reggae pirate station or whatever pirate station that you might have heard, or you might still hear, you know,
It was
today.
a bit of a Do the Right Thing vibe as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It was,
like exploding it.
yeah. You remember the movie Do the Right Thing as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
like with
yeah.
the whole Sam Jackson doing like the, you know, it's the hottest day in New York
that
or whatever. Yeah, with that. So there was all these influences from like you know, that's kind of our whole vibe. We take influence from movies, from music, from other genres that don't sound anything like us, and try and build our own thing. So those were the two big influences, I think. Yeah, for the concept at least. Yeah.
For real. And one thing I rate about you again is the innovation that you use. You're very creative, and I saw what you did doing my research with the Pledge music thing, where you actually, you know, interacted with your fans, where they can be part of the project, you know, and get things like signed CDs, t-shirts and things like that. So how important is it to you to like connect with your fans through social media and the internet?
Man, I think nowadays it's about the most important thing that you can do. You know, we've never had, like, our whole thing has been built on playing in front of people and then, you know, building the tribe and feeding them. So like, you know, to put it one way, is really like keeping in touch with your people, you know, especially through the online. Obviously, like our social media is like super important to us, you know, because we don't have like other media presence or whatever, or anybody like paying to like get you on the whatever in front of people. So like keeping up with the relationship and with your fan base, and, you know, doing your thing, and obviously you're giving them products to buy into, but like also respecting them as well, and just trying to keep it real with them, man, and just keep it all healthy and nice.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen it like on the Twitter, like people will say how much they're feeling your music and you'll like reply to them and stuff, so it's like you have that direct contact with the people.
Man, you have to, man. It's like, you know, and at our shows as well, if you ever catch us at one of our shows, everyone feels they come speak to us or whatever, do you know what I mean? It's like that. The rock star thing is dead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not really what it's about for us anyway, so.
Real things. And talking about playing to people, Josh, I've seen you on a few flyers from the Instagram, so tell the people about your DJ sets.
Oh man, yeah, well the DJ sets is just something, you know, if anyone knows me, knows that I'm quite a sociable, active guy. I'm always out and about, and usually at a party or something, I'm kind of the person that's gravitating towards the music and trying to pick the tunes and set a little mood or whatever.
In the van.
And in the van.
In the dressing room. And like anywhere.
I just kind of don't really stop playing tunes, so yeah, just, you know, the DJ thing seemed like a cool way just to have some free nights out with my friends, and, you know, I don't play the Skints music, but can kind of promote like what the Skints kind of vibe with it, and yeah, man.
So who are some of the artists that you spin then? Tell us a few.
Bro, it all depends on the mood, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've gone and played, like, you know, some proper reggae collectors stuff with like Prince Fatty or whatever, but I've also done some like mainstream nights, so like Choke on a Wednesday, where people just want to hear like what they want to hear.
So the collection's strong.
Yeah, it depends, man. It might be you know, I'm trying to build up a good Lovers Rock set at the moment for the family parties and stuff as well.
Go on.
Play some disco, and yeah, man, I play, like, that's the thing, like, it depends who's in the room. Do you know what I mean? If it's the girls, all the girls come in and they want to hear the bashment, then it's that. If it's like the reggae heads there, then it's that. And if there's some young kids that want to go crazy, I might play some grime or whatever. You know what I mean?
So that ties in perfect to my next question. Another track that I'm feeling a lot because of that grime connection is the track with Rival. So how did that happen first, and also big up on the video for that?
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, well, Rival's a fellow East London resident anyway. We met him, he was working, not working, he was doing a session at a studio, which is right next to where our kind of Skints HQ is, really. And yeah, and we just got chatting and hanging out. Obviously, we wanted to use Rival on the album. Obviously, loved his style as an MC. And also, he used to be a DJ back in the days before he was an MC on Axe FM.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, oh, it's like someone that understands like the radio concepts and stuff as well. And yeah, Rival's just, you know, I think Rival's really underrated grime MC.
You took it back with XFL. I remember going and spitting bars up in
Wow.
back in the day, but that's a different thing altogether. But you know what? I think we should let the people hear this track because it is a big track, and I think, you know, since this is Skints FM right now on the Beat London, why not introduce it to the people? Mr. Versatile's not here, so you're gonna have to step in.
Yes, people, the Beat London 103.6 on Inner Gold Show. You're listening to the Skints and Rival with Eyes in the Back of My Head.
Bra bra. Big up everyone in the studio losing weight right now. It is hot, but the vibe is fire, it's scorching, it's blazing, hence the sweat. But that was the big track from the Skints, Eyes on the Back of My Head. Check out the video, big up Rival featuring on that track. And as we're talking about grime, and you know, you have links to East London, which some call the spiritual home of grime. What are your thoughts on, you know, the state of the UK scene right now, the grime scene, and you know, the recognition that some of your peers from other genres or other UK artists like Skepta, Stormzy also getting recognition overseas? How does that make you feel as the Skints?
I mean, for me personally, like, I feel like I've grown up with grime. You know what I mean? Like, I remember, year 7.
Wow, you're taking it back.
Yeah, year 7. So we're talking like, I don't know, how old was I? So I'm 25 now. So when I was in year 7, I remember when Oi came out.
Yes.
Yeah, and Oi, because obviously Oi, we went to school in Woodford, and they were all those more fire guys were from Walthamstow. So when that tune went, it was like, oh, and obviously before that you had a So Solid or whatever. So from then, like whatever, 2001, 2002, I've literally feel like I've heard everyone in that music, even though it was one of the musics that I've always been connected. But I think, you know, it's really funny, like how many people are like jumping back on it now because of Skepta and Stormzy. To me, it's just funny because I remember like 2009, 2010, 2011, even a bit before that, people just weren't trying to hear it. You know, so many of the clubs that like now are like playing like Shut Down and Shut Up and all these tunes. They're just like, they would never in a million years have played that. So I think it's funny, but you know, man, it always depends on the artist, really. I think it's great that, you know, Skepta's finally getting the recognition that he deserves globally, because he's always been one of the best, and you know, we all know the work he's put in over the years, and yeah, I think it's cool. Like, I think it's just good that like people are getting big doing grime music, not doing really bad pop rap. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's about as much as you can ask for, really.
Real things, and it seems like the whole UK music scene's like thriving right now. I see an article in The Guardian a few months ago that mentioned like you guys, Kiko Bun, and a few other artists. So yeah. What are your thoughts on like the UK reggae scene right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's weird. I feel like we've always existed, like the UK reggae scene has always been like quite everyone in their own pockets. There hasn't really been a lot of like a one like united sort of scene, really. Do you know what I mean? I feel like obviously you've always had like the sound systems and DJs who from back in the days that have always kind of done their thing, and you know, we're sort of like, you know, a bit of a different thing. And there's a couple of like, there's Holly Cook who works at the same studio as us, and there's a couple of other bands, but not many, that are like us, sound different to us, but very loosely reggae. And now we're at a point where there's a couple of people getting signed to like major labels and they're trying the reggae thing. It's weird because I feel like it's been really underrepresented, and almost like people have been cheated out of having like good reggae in the UK, because it's kind of been like, oh, this pop person can have a little ska tune or a little dub bit or a reggae bit, but it's okay because they're not being marketed as an actual reggae artist or whatever. But I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, it's nice to see there's something bubbling, because ever since we've been in the band, every year people have been like, oh, guys, this is the year that reggae's gonna be the big thing, right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, people can say that to us for whatever. So I think it's cool. I think like someone like a Kiko Bun getting signed to Ireland and all that is definitely like a good sign for the future. But again, you know, you just have to make sure that like it's the good stuff that's coming through, and that, you know, and that we know who's been about. Like everyone in this room knows who's been about, so we'll see.
Well, if they listen to the Inner Gold show, they know who's about. But I was introduced to your music when I sat down with someone that wanted to manage me at the time, and they kind of showed me your music like as a way of like versatility, creativity, and how to utilize having kind of a positive message. And one of the first tracks you showed me was the KEB On a Mission featuring Marcia all over that track, yeah, which went viral. So tell the people about that wonderful moment in the Skints history, Marcia.
I don't remember how we came up with the idea to do it, but we were like, it was huge that when we first started kind of playing around with it, like in rehearsals, it was like everywhere, it was all over the radio. And I think, honestly, we just thought it was a great song, like, you know, kind of like worked out the chords on a guitar, and it's like, it's really nice chords and all this stuff, and yeah, I mean, I think we just, you know, it's often something we do in the studio. If we like a song, I say in studio and rehearsal, like if we've got all our instruments and we like a song, we just start like playing it, and yeah, we were jamming it, and I think maybe even our manager came in one time and he was just like, oh my god, that's, you know, that's great, you should do something with that.
You can check that out on the YouTube if you haven't seen it already. And then the other thing he showed me in that same session was the video for Rubber Dub, and that is like one of the most innovative videos in terms of capturing the British side of things, and you know, starting off on the table with the plate. Yeah, people, you need to see this video before you think I'm a madman. Yeah. So so they start off with the plate, then across the table turns into the UK. Okay, big up on that. And then I watched the video for Friends and Business, and it kind of showed me the evolution from doing that. You're now doing a similar kind of thing in America. So before we even get into the whole touring thing, the first thing I have to ask you is, where do you find the energy to do all this touring?
Bro, it's like, do you want to eat or well, it's obviously that's kind of been the outlook and the situation from the band is heavy touring. That's what we come from. Do you know what I mean? We don't come from like having loads of time, having the luxury to make music in the studio. We come from like really heavy touring. You know, our thing was always like, I don't know, we always thought surely the best people to like play in front of are the people who go to shows all the time, and so yeah, we've been super heavy touring since like probably 2009 was when it really kicked in. We do like maybe 140, 150 shows a year.
Yeah, I see a fact. Is it what, 150 shows 3 years in a row? Like,
Man,
we did something like that. Yeah, it was
some different numbers, guys.
Yeah,
like,
man.
That's
But,
work
you know,
rate right there, man.
But yeah, like that's how we've kind of built this thing up. Do you know what I mean? There's kind of no strings being pulled anywhere. That's literally what we do.
Yeah.
So, but you know, touring's our life, and like you say, how do you find the energy? You know, it's not every night party night. You know, you got to respect yourself and treat it like, you know, you're there to do a job. Then people are coming to pay to see you, whether you're the headline band or not. You got to be bringing the game, you know. And obviously, not every single one is 100% perfect, but you kind of got to, you know, go to work, man. So.
And I think you said it earlier, it's all about like going to the people and just giving them the music there, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, totally, man.
I big you up for that, man. And I see that you've got upcoming tours with the likes of Stephen Marley, Morgan Heritage and stuff, so tell the people about those, man.
Yeah, man. So, well, basically at the end of this month we're going back to the US for the third time in a year, so we're very yeah, we worked quite hard to make that happen, but you know, we're starting to see some good results. So our first show out there we're doing with Stephen Marley, Santa Cruz, then we do Cali Roots the next day, which is a wicked reggae festival. It's like the biggest reggae festival on the West Coast. The lineup this year is crazy, so we're opening the stage that Damien closes, which is crazy for us.
Special.
So yeah, and then yeah, we do a little run in California with a wicked band on our label, Easy Star Records, called the Expanders. They're from LA, if you haven't heard them. They're super heavy. and then we do a little run with Morgan Heritage, which is crazy because I saw Morgan Heritage at Shepherd's Bush last year, man, and I couldn't believe like that they were like they can sell out like Shepherd's Bush Empire in London to like such an older fan base to like not be around the bush. You know what I mean? It's like they really do bring people out still. And then we go to the East Coast and we're doing a little run with they're like an alternative hip hop band called Red Gold Green. So we're lucky, like it's kind of we're doing a US tour, we're doing our own thing, but we're playing with a lot of different kinds of artists, which is kind of what the whole thing's about for us. So
Yes.
it's cool.
Big up, and big up man like Jamie. I just see you're quiet in the corner there.
Yeah, I'm so hot. Man.
Jamie's dealing with the heat well.
I'm being so defeated.
Yeah.
Okay, well we're gonna put the heat on
what's
you. We're gonna put the heat on you a bit. So I just want to know, like, how's the music perceived and received when you go abroad?
How's it perceived and received?
Yeah.
I don't know, it depends really where we're going. I mean, in Europe, I think it's usually perceived pretty well. There's quite a big, like, you know, reggae market out there and stuff, you know, in France and Germany especially, and which is surprising. But yeah, I don't know, man, like, we're usually perceived pretty well by most, like, places that we go to, really. There's not really, I don't know, there's not really any overall difference,
Yeah, man.
you know, between any of it. So yeah,
And it seems like it's received well, because I see that in America. I think last year they were like selling your records out there and stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's cool. I think people recognize like how much we love what we do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's something that you haven't really got to explain to someone in their language or whatever. They're just like, oh, it's just vibes speak internationally, bro. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like people, you know, I think just like the songs and like the band, and luckily like enough people along the way are believing in the band to kind of, you know, be people when we get there next time. Like Jamie says, like it's kind of, there's not really like this one country doesn't like it as much as the other. It's all different. You know?
It's just vibes.
Yeah.
And I also see that you have decent links with like the likes of Protégé and Jesse Royal. So what's your thoughts on like the Jamaican reggae scene, and what's your links like with some of the artists that are doing their thing?
Well, yeah, definitely big up Protégé and the Innergoldinternational, and big up Jesse as well. Like obviously for us, you know, when we go out and do like the big reggae festivals in Europe, we're usually like one of the only English artists. So that's kind of how we've managed to meet up with like a Chronix and Protégé and Jesse and stuff, just through being at the same fest, you know, just like you're kind of in the scene. It's like the global reggae scene really. And obviously for us being from England and loving the music from Jamaica so much, it's a more on a personal level, it's like quite a nice thing to like be respected and say, you know, they can understand what we're doing and all of that as well. So yeah, I mean, I think now, like for me personally, the Jamaica playing reggae music and not, you know, I've always loved bashment and dancehall, but the reggae thing right now, Kabaka, Janine, Raging Fire, Proto, Chronix, Jesse, all these guys, it's like healthy, the beat, you know, and producers like Winter James, and shout out the Sons of Darb and all those guys as well, because like I think, you know, it's like younger people really like caring about the sound and what's actually being said as well. It's not always just, I think a lot of the time, you know, the reggae artists can get complacent and they'll make the same songs about the same subjects, and it's kind of like, alright, churning out another reggae album. But I think people are actually really thinking about more original concepts, but with the kind of what we liked about the music in the first place.
Definitely, and we see that you've linked up with the likes of Rival, the likes of Horsemouth, Tipper Irie. So could we see you doing tunes with the likes of Jesse Royal and Protégé in the future?
Yeah, just
as a selector,
yeah,
you know.
we just see, it's all, yeah, man. We just, you know, they're all friends, and no, we're definitely talking about doing work with people, man. That's what I'm gonna say. So,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
That sounds like what I've been hearing all week with the Drake and Skepta situation. We've just been hanging out, man. We're gonna make the tune, but you know the links there, and that's the most important thing.
One thing I will say is that, you know, timing is everything with these things. You know what I mean? Like you can link up with someone and be friends with music, but it might not necessarily. You know, everyone's busy as well.
True,
so it's just about when it happens and it's the right time. It's all good.
Alright, well, it is hot in here. It is, you know, baking, but I see you brought your guitar with you, and I'm sure it's not here to fan us all down.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
Unless you want that.
we should have done that from the beginning. We might all be cooler now, but we're gonna get into a little something in a little bit. But very quickly, if you can tell the people where they can follow what you do.
Yeah, man, you can follow us on Insta and Twitter at the Skints, SKINTS, facebook.com/the Skints, www.theskints.co.uk. You can, yeah, we got like our merch range is wicked as well. If you're looking for some clothes and yeah, all our tour dates are there, and yeah, man. And also www.NiceTime London. That's our next event in London. What we're doing. I don't know if you're going to come to that. We'll speak about that in a second.
You will indeed. Don't go anywhere. Innergold Show. Yes, people, this is still the Innergold Show on your favourite station, The Beat London 103.6 FM. Still the Skints takeover, so it's Skints FM right now for the next little while still. So before we get into the live session, which we call Gold Bars, so this will be the first Gold Bars acoustic session. We're excited about that. But before we get into that part of it, you do have a big show coming up here in the UK, and you're always floating around the globe, so it would be nice to see you here in the UK. So could you tell the people about the show and who else is on the lineup?
Yeah, man, basically we're starting like a Skints Presents event called Nicetime. It's going to be the first one, Nicetime London, and basically it's us kind of showcasing, putting on a party really, and showcasing some artists from around the world that we think our people in London need to be listening to, but at the same time can definitely party to. So we've got a live stage featuring ourselves, New Kingston, who's a wicked reggae band from Brooklyn, New York, kind of on like an R&B flex as well, and obviously Jesse Royal,
Big up.
Yeah, one of Jamaica's brightest young stars right now.
For real.
So that's going to be a live stage, and in the same room we're bringing in the full Reggae Roast sound system rig.
Okay.
With and we've got like the Reggae Roast guys, Brother Culture's going to be hosting.
Okay. Okay.
Tipper, a couple of other special guests might be coming through as well. So yeah, we just kind of, like when you was asking about the reggae scene in London and the UK earlier, just something that we can kind of like get everyone to come in and have a good time. And it's kind of at a pop-up space in Hackney as well, in London Fields, a place called The Laundry, so it's not like your regular gig venue either. So yeah, that's Sunday the 17th of July. www.nicetime.london for tickets, and yeah, it's definitely going to sell out, man. So it's like 650 tickets available, so it's going to be a party in there for sure.
So we're gonna go into something special now. If you haven't got the album FM, I'm sure after what we're gonna get into now, you'll be going on iTunes, you'll be going on YouTube, Googling. It's gonna be going crazy. You might even shut down the internet. I'm gassed, I'm sorry. But yeah, let's do this. This is Gold Bars acoustic session, the first one with the Skints, The Beat London. So we're gonna hand over to you so you can, this ain't that other station, but we're gonna say the Skints bringing that fire in the booth right now.
Yeah,
so let's get into this. You ready?
Yeah, man.
Okay, let's do this.
Innergold Show, High Street, Northwest 10, but we're taking you into the forest.
Whoa, yeah, Say that we are all the same is a delusion, but from that we draw a negative conclusion. For I mean not to say that we should not be. Every single race has one inequality. For without one another the world would turn flat. It matters not how many names are on your family map. For that tree of life is enormous and relates to all of we. So open up your eyes and see the forest for that tree. Yeah, the forest for the tree, yeah. The forest for the tree, the forest for the tree. So don't chop we down, Mr. Lumberer. And if you should succeed, piece we back together, Mr. Carpenter. In a labor of love for humanity. Yeah.
I read to rock and I like it like I rock opportunity. And I roll in my cordless run and build a forest for the tree. Rested in a space until it started to relate to me. Respecting now the world of what I'm ready so for her without when I know I won't go. We know the world inevitably crack. It's not how many men are reckoned as is the land. For the land in which we fell into a quite a great need.
So open up your eyes and see the forest for the tree. Yeah, the forest for the tree. Yeah, the forest for the tree. The forest for the tree. So don't chop we down, Mr. Lumberer. And if you should succeed, peace we back together, Mr. Carpenter. In a labor of love for humanity. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, people. Inner Gold, live and direct. No DJ show contest. Big up Mikee, big up Heartical, big up everyone in the room. Summer 16 is about to be warm. Definitely warm. It's the sound of the Skints. In an acoustic fashion, listen. I tell her if you have a forest, then you got to have a tree. And if you have a beehive, well, it must contain a bee. Follow me now, if you're born in a teapot, well, then you must brew tea. And no man is an island, as it was sung by the one Dennis Lee. So big up the people that promote them individuality, rationality and humility, vibes and a factuality. But you're one in the act like you and me are the same, but in actuality, I don't try and derive my pride blind from my nationality. No way.
Youth man, Lord, mind what you do. Not the youth man, mind what you say. The youth man, Lord, mind what you do. Not the youth man, mind what you say. For anything you do, Lord, shall see you. And anything you say, yes, you do. Ooh, 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 yeah. Say when I'm ready, you must hold on steady. We're moving off at light turning speed, yeah. Take a seat and wait till I'm ready. I'm coming, so hold on steady, yeah. Big ships sailing on the ocean. We don't need no commotion. Big ships sailing on the ocean. Oh, big ships sailing on the ocean. We don't need no commotion. Big ships sailing on the ocean. Big ships sailing on the ocean. We don't need no commotion. Big ships sailing on the ocean.
Have to take a minute just to cool down after that. It was hot in the studio already, but now it is definitely blazing. If you hear sirens in the background, it's because the fireman's on his way. So big up the Skints. That was a nice moment, and thank you for doing that on the Inner Gold show. But I feel you set the level sky high now. So we're gonna hand it back to you and see what else you have brought to the Inner Gold show today?
This one is the Skints version of a roots and culture classic that we're sure the listeners of the Inner Gold show on Beat London 103.6 FM will know. This one's Sata Masagana.
Na na na. There's a land far, far away where there's no night, there's only day. Look into the book of life and you will see that there's a land far, far away. That there's a land far, far away. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords sit upon his throne and he rules us all. Look into the book of life and you will see that he rules us all. That he rules us all. Na na na. Na na na. Na na na. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords sit upon his throne and he rules us all. Look into the book of life and you will see that he rules us all. That he rules us all. There is a land, there is a land, there is a land, there is a land far, far away where there's no night, there's only day. Look into the book of life and you will see that there's a land far, far away. That there's a land far, far away. Sata Masagana. Ooh, Lordy. Sata Masagana. Yeah, ooh, Lordy. Ooh, Lordy. Ooh, Lordy. Ooh, Lordy.
And I have to really thank you, the Skints, for, you know, passing through and giving that to our listeners, the people across the world. It will be on YouTube, Inner Gold TV. Thank you, you know, for passing through and blessing us. It has been a joy. But tell the people one more time where they can follow what the Skints do.
Yeah, man. www.theskints.co.uk, at the Skints on everything. And yeah, man, our album FM's out now on Easy Star Records. And yeah, and just want to big up the Inner Gold guys as well, man, because there's not a lot of young guys like us like promoting this reggae music and the real stuff and the good stuff. you know what I mean, from a grassroots thing like what we do as well, man. So respect every time, boys.
You give thanks.
Yeah, that's humbling, man. But I want to big you up once again, man. It's been a joy having you here. Enough banter, enough insight into what you guys do, and just keep carrying the flag for, you know, the scene, because you're doing big things, man.
Man, respect, man. We'll stay in touch too, man.
100%. 100%.
Big up the Skints.